All right, back for another beer review, and today I'll be reviewing yet another beer from the DankHouse Brewing Company, and they're out of Newark, Ohio, and this is their Sweet Life. So this is a sour ale, and underneath that it says a malt beverage with natural flavors, and underneath that it says white grape, mango, peach, and lime. It comes in at 6% alcohol by volume. No IBUs listed. Time of review, and this can is just over 3.5 months old. I want to give a huge thanks and shout out once again to a very good friend of mine and viewer of the channel, Curtis, for this beer. So huge thanks to him. In the description box, I'll post a link to the beer mail unboxing video I did that contains all the goodies he sent my way, and he sent me an Ohio-centric beer mail that contained 7 different beers, and this was one of those beers. I'm super stoked because I've pretty much got the chance to experience DankHouse because of Curtis, but I've had all hop forward beers from them. I think I've reviewed 3 on the channel. They're all hop forward. So this is the other thing they do well, apparently, which is heavily fruited sour. So this one says on the side here, roll this one up side down for a consistent pour, contains real fruit. So this is basically a heavily fruited / smoothie sour ale with white grape, mango, peach, and lime. Now the reason Curtis sent this one my way is he actually is not a huge fan of like heavily fruited / smoothie sours, but he said this one was actually quite balanced. It had a nice level of sourness, and this is one he could get behind. It wasn't like over the top. And that's where I am with my, heavily fruited / smoothie sours. I need them to be sour. They can't just be sweet on sweet on sweet. Otherwise, I refer to them nowadays as a flight beer, or you have them at a beer fest. You have 3 or 4 ounces. That's all you want. So I did keep this upside down in my fridge, but I will roll it just to be safe here nowadays. But I did keep it upside down, and because of the condensation, look at all the water now on my table. Doesn't matter, not really, it's just water. Anyway, let's crack it open, get in the glass. Hopefully it doesn't explode. These have a tendency to sometimes gush. It does contain real fruit. All right, so we're gonna give this a nice firm pour here. Yeah, it looks like mango or like peach juice. We'll see if the head becomes an issue. Sometimes with these, the head is just over the top. So we'll do something like that because it's gonna rise a little bit. But I wanna try to get all of it in here because a lot of times the goodies are at the bottom, like it'll be real thick. Now that looks exactly how it probably should. And this just reminds me of the 80s. I forget who mentioned it in the comments when he sent it, but I love this label. Reminds me of playing like GTA Vice City or something, honestly. That's what it reminds me of. Or like some Miami Vice back in the day, watching that show. So how does that look? It looks like a heavily fruited sour. It looks like peach juice, mango juice, a combination. I think there might be a seed. Let me see if I can turn around. You see this little seed down here? Look at this little seed just hanging out. I think that's a seed. Definitely something that was a floaty that was poured into this, so that's kind of wild. But yeah, I mean, this looks like juice. It doesn't look like a beer, and that's how a lot of these are. Murky turbid, can't see through it. That head just fizzled away because of all the fruit puree, and there's pectin on the sides or the top of the glass. It looks exactly how you expect a beer like this to look, in my opinion, and there's nothing wrong with that. Let's get a nose. Ooh, that lime. Wow, that's interesting. So the first thing I notice is a big blast of mango and peach, like a combination. But then there's just like this sharp, like zesty lime. Not really getting any white grape whatsoever. I mean, these are the easiest beers to review because most of the time these breweries just brew like a base kettle sour. A lot of breweries now are just doing seltzers and calling them gluten-free beers, even though they're technically seltzers. And then post-fermentation, they are just blending them with fruit puree. I talked to a couple brewers and say most of it's 60-40, 60% beer or seltzer to 40% fruit puree. The reason these are very expensive is because fruit puree is incredibly expensive. So when you see these for $5, $6, $7, $8 a can, it's because of the fruit puree. It's just insanely expensive, you know? It's just, it is what it is. It honestly smells like a mango and peach smoothie, a mango and peach juice with a little bit of like sharpness from the lime. Really not getting any white grape. So anyway, let's get into it. Cheers, everybody. Thanks again, Curtis. I can see why Curtis liked this right off the rip. Oh, back of the jaw. This is sour. This is real fucking sour. Wow, my palate was not expecting that, and I have no idea why. That I wasn't prepared, because it clearly, they say malt beverage with natural flavors. It says sour ale. I can see why Curtis digs this, and it's the reason why I'm really digging on it. The lime is present. It is, even though it's the 4th fruit mentioned, man, does it have that kind of, if you've ever had like a limeade or something in that realm, or even like a lemonade, where you get that acidic, punchy sourness. That's what's happening here. But on top of that is the mango and the peach. I'm really not getting white grape. It's the first thing. I mean, I love white grapes, but I'm not getting it. Another saving grace for this one. Again, another reason why I know he enjoyed this. This is not incredibly thick. Is it thick? Yes. It's 6%, and it drinks like a beer that's like 8, 9%, right? So it has like a higher side of medium, lower side of full kind of mouthfeel, but it's not smoothie-esque as in like I'm chewing the beer. And some beers over the years on my channel that I've reviewed, some of them are so thick, it's like chewing the beer. This is not, but it's thick. It definitely is. It's just not overly thick. The mouthfeel also, while it has a nice, smooth, slightly creamy sensation, it has more of like a mild to moderate carbonation. It's a little bit more spritzy and effervescent on the palate. Like not overly so, but a little bit more crisp than anticipated. It's not super soft. So I really like the body and mouthfeel, although if you're somebody who loves these heavily fruited / smoothie sours because it's super thick and goopy and just like a smoothie, you might be disappointed in the body mouthfeel in this one. But the reason why I enjoy it, and I think probably Curtis did as well, is it makes it infinitely more drinkable, crushable, and just like quaffable. Like this is like, I could drink a lot of this. And here's another reason. One more sip and I'll get right into that. Is this sweet? Yeah. It has a nice level of sweetness for sure. It almost has that little bit I talked about before, like if you ever drink like full sugar soda pop or like a full sugar juice and you get a little phlegmy on the back of the throat after you drink it because it just builds up the sweetness. That's what's happening here. However, it's not crazy sweet. Is it sweet? Yes. Is it crazy sweet? Is it cloying? Not in the least. Forefront for me. I think there's like would be like a fire if you hear a fire alarm in the background. It's big mango. It's big peach. But it's not overly sweet. It's like close to ripened of both those fruits. It hits me right at the forefront. As it passes through, maybe a slight skosh of like a white grape, like a slight juicy white grape. Very, very subtle. But what's really the hero of this beer and keeping this beer in check and making it absolutely fucking delicious is the omnipresent lime character that is. It's almost like a lime juice, so it's like, it's slightly juicy, definitely acidic, and definitely sour. This finishes with a firm sourness. I'd say it's semi to firmly dry. Like it's not like full on dry. It's not bone dry, but it's also a little bit, it definitely has a dryness to it. This leans like, I'd say like 60-40, 55-45 sweetness to dryness, but then you get that acidic kind of like mild to moderate acidity on the back of the palate with that firm sourness. And it kind of just, it makes it a very cohesive overall heavily fruited / smoothie sour beer. I really don't get any beer properties, but in a lot of these you don't. Like whatever base kettle sour they're making here might have a slight like doughy, like slight touch of malt, but not really anything specifically. Maybe a little bit of like a minerality. 6%, you can't tell. This is one of the more drinkable and dare I say crushable heavily fruited / smoothie sours I've had in a long time. It's just easy to drink. The problem is the calories on this is through the roof, which, is someone trying to lose weight and down 25 pounds in the last 7-8 months. Drinking something like this doesn't help, but I could drink this. The one negative of this one, if I'm being honest, is that the flavor profile is weird. Not necessarily my favorite flavor profile, but I get the mango, I get the peach, I get the lime. I wish there was a little bit more white grape, and I wish that the flavors just worked a little bit better, but it's fucking delicious. It's like fruit, it's like carbonated fruit juice. Like, not much more to say about it. So again, 6%, you can't tell. So Sweet Life from DankHouse, I'm gonna go low 4.5, I'll go 4.4. If I like the flavor profile a little bit more, this is easily into the mid to high 4.5 range. So like 4.55, 4.6, maybe even low 4.75, 4.65, but I'm going 4.4 because the flavor profile isn't my favorite. But I'd like to see other beers with lime in this style because I think that lime or even lemon really does help break up the monotony of all the sweet, fruit character you get in something like this. So, and I love the label too, but 4.4 out of 5, absolutely delicious and something that I could recommend to a lot of folks who like styles like this. Price point availability was $5.50 for a can. He left the price point on this. I don't know what it is at the brewery, but beers like this here in New York State, if you go to Mortalis or Froth or Frequentum, they're anywhere between $22 to $25 a 4-pack, so you're looking at $5.50 to $6.50 a can, depending upon where you buy them. So $22 to $25 4-pack. This was basically, for a single, would equate to $22 4-pack, right in that realm. Availability, DankHouse, pretty sure it's Ohio only. They might get trips and drabs outside to like bordering states. Never seen them here in New York State, but they're 4 for 4 with their beers. Fucking fantastic brewery. I'd like to try more like non-hazies and like fruited sours. Like it'd be cool to just try a lager from them, or like maybe like a blonde ale. Or I don't know what they brew outside of stuff like this, but it would be fun because they definitely have nailed these styles. And I'm very thankful that Curtis shared this one with me. It was a lot of fun, and I can see, Curtis, why you enjoy this one. Again, he's not somebody who loves the style. Most of the time, he's actually said he's not a big fan of the style, but he was a fan of this one, and I can see why. Because a lot of people who drink these are just like, it's too much. I don't think this is too much for most people. Now, would you want to drink this entire can? Maybe not. It's still my preference would be to share this with somebody, but I could easily drink this can, and I'm going to try to drink the rest of this can. So I think that's a win in itself. So once again, huge thanks to Curtis. If any of you out there have had a beer like this or this specific beer, please post in the comment section and let me know. Appreciate it. To the next one. Cheers. Is there anything else I'm missing? Talked about the ABV, talked about the sourness, the dryness, the acidity, everything. No, I think we're good. I have I try to check off different things. Like I have a checklist that I try to go through at the end in my brain. You might not see me process it all the time, but I just process it there in real time for you to see. Cheers.